Hello gorgeous people, glad to have you back on my channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you how I made these beautiful pants. Before now, I did a tutorial on the blazer and the lapel flower pin. I'll just be dropping the links in the description box. If you are just coming across this channel for the first time, please do well to hit the subscribe button and don't also forget to turn on your post notification bell so you will keep seeing my videos. If you are subscribed already, I appreciate you and I encourage you to keep watching my videos. Let's get started. Materials needed for this tutorial are my fabric, hemi gum, chalk, measuring tape, pins, scissors, ruler and of course my measurements. I'll be doing the front panel of this pants. First of all, I got my fabric and I folded it into two. I made sure the fabric was wide enough. So I'll be coming down by half an inch and that will serve as my waistline. From that waistline, I came down to mark my full length, which is about 38 inches. I added extra 2 inches for hemming. I then went ahead to connect those points. Going back to my measurements, I will determine the hip line, the crotch line, and the knee line. Placing my tape again on the waistline, I came down by 10.5 inches and that will serve as my crotch line. I connected the points. From that crotch line, I came up by 2.5 inches and this will serve as my hip line. So I just labeled it the crotch line and the hip line. I marked my thigh measurement divided by 2 plus half an inch on the crotch line. So that's 26 divided by 2 plus half an inch. Again, I went to my hip line. I marked my round hip measurement divided by 4 and I just marked it on that hip line, on my waistline and on the crotch line. Hope you guys are following. I went ahead to connect those points. On the crotch line, I came in by 1 inch. Then I went ahead to draw a curve. You can as well use your free hand to achieve this. From the waistline again, I came down by 23 inches and that will serve as my knee measurements. So when I was done marking out those points, I went ahead to connect those points. On the crotch line, I measured my round thigh measurement, which is about 13.5 inches. I then folded it into two. Then I marked it all the way down. The next thing I went ahead to do was to get my round knee measurement, which is about 9.5 inches. Then I folded my tape into two, like dividing the round knee measurement into two. Then I will place it on that mark I made initially and I'll just be transferring the half sideways. Then going to the ankle, the same thing, I folded my round ankle measurement into two. From that midpoint I also marked, I'll just be marking the half of the ankle on the two sides. After which I went ahead to connect all the points. So you'll be seeing the shape of the pants now when you connect the points. On that ankle line, I came out by half an inch on the two sides so it doesn't become short while hemming. For this waistline, I was supposed to mark my round hip measurement divided by 4, which is about 11 inches on that line. But because I'll be making use of an elastic band, I'll rather add like extra 3 inches allowance. Hope you guys understand. If I were to be using like a zipper, then I would have used the actual 11 inches. So this is me just connecting the point to the crotch line. Let me explain what I meant. Normally, I'm supposed to mark 11 inches, but if you look at it, I added like extra 3 inches to make up for the elastic band. Again, you can also decide to add that if you want that in your pants, but that one is better if you are making use of a zipper. But since I'll be making use of an elastic, I decided not to put my darts. I came down by 1.5 inch and I'll be connecting it like so, and that's because the front part of the trouser is usually lower than the back. So here is me cutting out. I will leave that part first. When I've cut out the back panel, I'll just be trimming out that slanty part. If you have watched this video to this point and you haven't liked it yet, please do. So now I'll be getting another fabric which I'll be folding into two with extra inches allowance because the back panel is usually wider than the front panel. So what I did was just to place the front piece I did initially on the back panel. Can you see it has extra inches allowance? So what I did here was just to extend those lines. On the crotch line, I came out by 2.5 inches. On the knee line, I came out by 2 inches. And on the ankle line, I came out by 2 inches as well. Guys, please pay attention to this waist part. Remember, I marked 13 inches for the front piece as my waist measurement. So that's the 13 inches there. Then I added extra 3.5 inches. From that point again, I came up by 1 inch. Then I'll just be drawing it to meet with that waistline. I will now be joining the points, introducing that curve like I did for the crotch. Then I'll connect all the other points as well. It's time to cut. So that part I didn't cut initially on that front panel, I've just done that. And this is the back panel. Take note of how I am doing the cutting. I have a similar video on this channel. I'll also be dropping the link in the description box. You could also check that out if that would be easier for you. But if you think this tutorial is okay, then you can go for it. Look at what I did here, guys. I just notched those points so that when sewing, life will be made easier. After all the cuttings, this is what you should have. This is how I'm going to place them. I will do it for the two. I'll make sure the two right sides are facing each other. Pin the two together this way. Then take it to my sewing machine to stitch. So I'll just do this and I'll show you what I did. This is me also doing for the other piece. Here is how it looks after stitching. So you can see that. Then this for the second piece. I'll be folding it into two like this on the wrong side, and I'll be sewing on the inner part. So it was the external part I stitched before now. I will just be stitching this other part, and I will do the same for the other piece. Guys, here is how it looks. You can see it's taking shape already. Now is just to combine the two. I don't know how to really explain this part. You are going to be pinning the two crotches together this way. So this part is also a sensitive part. You need to align everything properly, okay? So you just bring the two parts this way. I think it's better you turn it to the right side. It will be easier to couple. So when you turn it this way, just see the way I will arrange them. You can see it. I just brought the two together. You can hold with pin. Then you do it for the other side. When I was done pinning, I went ahead to stitch. Then I also gave it a good press and just see how this is looking. Everything about this pants is just giving. I so much love it. Honestly, when I finished making it, I was happy I did. You can see it. So now I will just be working on the waist, and then for the ankle part you can attach your hemming glue, or you can as well just fold it and stitch like that. So for the waist, I cut out a long piece that is long enough to go around the waist. Like I said before, I made use of an elastic band. The elastic band should be a little shorter than the actual piece that you are going to be using for the waist, so that it can have these gathers and have a better grip on the waist. Here it was a little long, but I later reduced it in the course of my sewing. So look at what I did here. I just opened the piece up like that. The piece could be like 3 inches wide or 4 inches wide. It depends on you actually. So I just folded it into two and ironed it. But this is me just opening it up, and I placed my elastic band inside. But because the elastic band is shorter, and that is why you are seeing it this way, so I pinned each end of the elastic band to the end of the piece. I don't know if I'm making sense, and that's why it's forming these gathers. So I went ahead to stitch it. So now that is folded into two, is giving me my actual waist measurement. But if you want to do yours, make it a little smaller than your waist measurement, so it doesn't start falling off from your waist. Okay, now watch what I did here. I just grabbed a portion of the pants, and from there I will start pinning with the two right sides facing each other. That's the right side of the elastic band attached to the right side of the pants. Hope you guys are clear. So I'm just going to do this pinning all the way around, so that while stitching it will not be difficult. Here you will require a lot of patience, because if you don't do it well, it may not really be fine. You understand what I'm trying to say? So just take your time. Just look at what I did. I make sure I showed this part so that you will actually see what I did here. When I was done doing all the pinnings, so I took it to my sewing machine, then I went ahead to stitch, and here is how it looks. So if you have a weaving machine, you can as well weave that part, that rough edge, so that it comes out very neat. So this is how it looks, guys. You can see it's very beautiful. If you want pockets, kindly check that tutorial I talked about. I attached pockets to that pant. So for now, this is how this beauty looks. The last part of this tutorial is the ankle part that is hemming it. You can make use of your hemming glue here, or you can also do without it. So for me, I just folded it into two, and I went ahead to stitch. So finally, guys, our pants is ready. So beautiful. I love everything about this trouser. It was really easy to make. Like I said before, you can check out my channel for the tutorial on the blazer I wore and the lapel flower pin. Don't forget to like, comment and share this video. See you all in my next tutorial. Bye.